Hello everybody, and welcome back to Season 24, the P3 tier, 3 rounds to go, and Colin and myself are here in Baku for round 10, which starts with a sprint race. So the grid has been set, lots to cover, the drivers are busy setting their setups and checking their fuel, deciding what tyres they're going to start on, but alongside me in the commentary box, as always for the P3 tier, is Colin.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Nick. This is going to be a very difficult race for the drivers. I think this is really going to be about survival tonight with all the barriers, and of course, no qualifying, sprint and feature race.
Yeah, so we'll start with the sprint race, and it will be reverse championship order. But you do have then, after that's been done, qualifying bans and engine penalties for those drivers starting at the back. So we'll cover all that in a second. We don't want to get into too much detail now in case we see the 5 red lights appear, Colin. But just quickly, whether it's going to be dry for both sessions.
Yeah, I think the drivers are going to be happy about that. So dry sprint, dry feature race. So it's all about what's their best and safest setup. You need to have a good setup to concentrate with the corners, but obviously you've got 2 very long straights, so you can't have the wings too high.
Yeah, definitely. It's a really difficult track. We've been finding that, Colin, in practice, and I think tyre wear as well is going to be really difficult here. The rear just does not seem happy no matter what I seem to do with my car. So it'll be interesting to see how these drivers find it. Of course, as you said, no qualifying. So they're sitting on their grid. They need to do their fuel, load their setups, which is really important, and then decide what tyre they're going to start on. What do you think we'll see most of the drivers start on?
I would suspect that the majority of the drivers will go on the softs. As there's going to be, I would say, there's quite a high chance of a safety car early on. Softs aren't a great tyre. They don't last that long. But I do think that's probably what they're going to do. You might see a couple of drivers take a bit of a punt, especially ones near the back. But we'll have to wait and see. So, like Nick said, now they're loading up their setups. I'll quickly go through the grid for tonight's race, sprint race. So it's Dr. Mew, Evil Dragon, then Fozzie, Jackamundo, Ghost, Marcy, Mason, Rageman, Cowboy, Proverb, and the lights are going, so we will be off.
Felix has just come back in time, but the 5 red lights are on, Colin, and looks like only Felix has gone away. Red flag? What on earth has happened here? There's a red flag out though, Colin.
Wow.
Any ideas what happened there?
I am wondering, because I did see a car near the back go very, very early. Now, did he jump start? And because he jump started so much, the game has decided that's a red flag situation. I don't know, but
I think that was Felix's car who I just invited him before the lights came on. Maybe he joined the session. As he joined the session, he jumped the start. Difficult to say, but it was an Alpha Tauri, so there was no major incident. But I mean, as long as it doesn't break the lobby, we're fine with this, aren't we, Cole?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so this is the first one I've ever experienced at any stage. And
well,
here we go again.
So, 5 red lights. Not sure about whether the order's correct, but here we go. I think this time. And we get away. Dr. Mew, obviously on pole position. Felix is up in front. So something's happened there with his car, and he's jumped right from the back of the field after this red flag. So there's a driver in the wall there. Is that Hooky or Popper? It looks like there's a Ferrari, possibly a Mercedes as well. Down the back there, yellow flags in Sector 1. Dr. Mew still leads us away. And as we head down to... we in the safety car? No.
Yes, VSC, under VSC. Just saw the light board then.
Hasn't come up on our screen, but you're right. It's on the light board. And oh, there's carnage. Drivers running into each other further back. What on earth have we got going on here, Colin?
This has gone a bit pear-shaped. I mean, I don't know. I didn't quite see what happened, but obviously Hooky and Papa, one of our leading drivers, as Jamie picks up a 5 seconds for ignoring the yellow flag. That's usually a glitch, but we are still under VSC.
Yeah, so I imagine that would be...
Screen.
We're on my screen as well under VSC, but I would imagine that would have been for passing a car under virtual safety car. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to... Oh, we've gone green. So Dr. Mew leads us away. Evil Dragon's up into second place. Felix is in his car in third. There's quite a big gap now to Fozzie. So we are underway here, Colin. And according to this, we're on lap 3 as well out of 9.
Yes, as I think that was Felix hitting the wall there. Yes, he's tumbling down the order now. Such a difficult track as... Oh, it's a huge crash at the back. Matthias going in the wall. And Hooky is out of the race. Hooky is out.
Shelby's spinning round.
Huge.
And Hooky is out the race. Looks like he's gone straight into the barrier. We got a safety car now, so this settled things down for a second. What a messy start this has been. And we're going to see some drivers dive into the pit lane now. So anyone who's got damage will be able to come in. And of course, although points are scored tonight, Colin, this will set the grid for the main race.
Yes, that's right. So is it the top 12 get points, I believe, for this, with 12 for first and then 1 for 12th. So as you can see now, so from 10th down, Marcy down, they have all boxed. So they're going to come out on a nice brand new set of soft tyres. But of course, that's a set of soft tyres they're not going to be able to use in the feature race. So it's a big call.
Obviously, it's showing everyone has stopped once. I think that's because they would have either changed. They count the red flag situation as a stop. But if this was a main race, Colin, that doesn't count towards the One Hub Racing mandatory 2-stop rule. So obviously they don't have to stop under the sprint race conditions. So you can see all the drivers with 2 stops next to their name have come into the pit during this safety car period. So Hookie's out the race. He'll be starting last place in the main race, which isn't too far away. We're on lap 4 out of 9. And I think the safety car, depending on if drivers catch up, is either going to stay out for another lap or come in this lap. So let's have a look at what tyres everyone's on, Colin. Mixture, really, but anyone who stops under safety car has gone for softs, obviously.
Yeah, so Evil and Dr. Mew in first and second, they're on the medium tyre. Fozzie and Jack are on softs in third and fourth. And then you've got Rageman, Cowboy, Proverb, Mason and 125, all on mediums. And then from 10th down to 17th, all on softs. But of course, we're on lap 4 of 9 already. And the field is still not particularly bunched up at this stage, so it's going to go for another lap, I believe.
Yeah, I think you're right. Interestingly, that all the tyres are showing they've done 0 laps on, even those who didn't come in at the safety car. So who's coming in now? Dr. Mew's coming into the pit, so has he had an incident with the wall? But he's giving up. He's giving up first position at the moment. He was leading this race.
Yes, that's a very strange call. I'm just going to have a look on TAS now. And yes, he does. He has 30% wing damage on his front wing. So that's why he had to box. It's such a shame for him. He was sitting in a really good place and now down at 17th.
Yeah, going to have to catch the pack up. Perhaps he was just past the pit lane entrance when the safety car came out because he was leading the race. Not sure whether that's the case, but definitely a possibility. Or he just tapped the wall whilst under safety car conditions, warming the tyres up. So we can officially say, Colin, we've had our first red flag in One Hub Racing ever.
Yes.
A bit unorthodox, but...
Yeah, unfortunately it happened so quickly, it didn't really make a lot of difference. They didn't even get to the first corner. So the drivers would have gone, fair enough, we'll just keep everything the same. And and have another go. I don't think anyone changed tyres under that red flag. But I'm not 100% certain, but I don't think anyone did. So our big losers at the moment, obviously Hooky DNFing at the end of the first lap. Dr. Mew down 16 places after losing his front wing. Ghost down 8. Our big winners are Felix in 9th and M125 in 8th, both jumping up 7 places. And Matthias up 6 as well. So they'll be pleased with that.
So, safety car out, lap 5 out of 9, and confirmation safety car will be coming in this lap. So we have a shootout, which is going to last lap 6, lap 7, lap 8, and lap 9. So you will see Evil Dragon bunch up the pack now. This is one of those tracks where you have to go quite slowly so that the safety car can get into the pit lane before you think about gunning it. And obviously you don't want to give too much slipstream away either. So 5-second penalties for Jamie for ignoring yellow flags. So not sure what's happened there. Seeing quite a few drivers leaving still, trying to get some temperature into their tyres, but it's right on board with Evil Dragon, and he's gone. He's gone slightly early. 5-second penalty for Dr. Mew having a collision with Shelby, but the Mercedes is getting away. Is Fozzie Bear going to have a chance to send it down the inside? Are we going to see any moves? There's a Haas trying to go down the inside of the McLaren. That's Cowboy, I think.
Now, this is very interesting now. You can see, I'm very curious because M125 seemed to have so much straight line speed going down that back straight. He had tons of it. Oh, as Mason has a big sideways moment. Proverb doing well. Now he's up 4 places. M125 now up 8. Yeah, just a shame for Jamie there with that 5-second penalty, which I think he had at the first start as well.
He did. He would have served it in his stop. So providing he doesn't pit again, and the game's giving it unfairly, he could take this one to the stewards. Seeing Popper trying to go up the outside, becoming the inside for the next slow speed corner. And Evil hasn't been able to get away from Fozzie, really. Fozzie looks like he's got some strong pace here tonight, Colin.
He really does. He's had a very up and down season, has Fozzie. I'm just going to have a look at the championship now. So where is he? He's currently sitting only 15th. His best result being 8th. So yes, he really has, and he's had quite a few DNFs, unfortunately, as well. But he's really settling into this sprint race nicely now, and Evil's not pulling away from him.
Evils goes over the curb. This is going to give Fozzie a good run. The gap's come down to 4 tenths already, 3 tenths, 2 tenths. He's going to go for it here, using his ERTs. Will the Mercedes defend too hard? Fozzie goes to the inside, almost catches the rear of that Mercedes. I'll tell you what, Jack's sitting by nicely here. Fozzie tucks back in. Obviously doesn't have the straight line speed that's required. Trading fastest lap times, and he's going to touch the Mercedes slightly as they enter the braking zone into turn 1.
Oh, that was close. I thought that was going to be curtains for both the drivers then, but fair play. Fozzie just about manages
to... Oh, there's an Alpine out! Ghost has hit the wall on the exit. He's hit the barrier on the exit, and he's gone away down the little mini straight here, but his right-hand tyre is completely off. Are we going to see any yellow flags at the moment? Any safety cars at the moment? Just yellow flags. And we're seeing the 2 Haas drivers swap positions. That looked like a swap for me. Mason's retired.
Mason's out as well. Mason has retired as well. I don't know what happened there. I can just see him now. I think he's on the exit where just on the
there's a
just
McLaren
at the end of sector 1, I think.
There's a McLaren in the wall as well. I think that's Proverb. Yeah, I think it was on the left-hander, got on the exit curb and spun it to the left-hand wall. Interestingly, it didn't look like one of his tyres was off though, so not too sure about that one. Obviously, he didn't catch it in real time. The other McLaren of Rageman all over the back of Fozzie now, who's lost a position to Jack.
But that's a disaster for the Ferrari team, with both their drivers now DNFing from the sprint race, meaning they're going to start 16th and 18th as we're on lap 7 now, as Matthias and Proverb are having an almighty battle, chasing Jamie as well. Obviously Jamie with that 5 seconds, like Nick said, providing he doesn't stop again, he might be able to get that removed by the stewards.
DRS enabled now, so they're only going to have one crack at this. The McLaren goes down the inside, goes deep, just avoids the barrier and ends up losing a position rather than gaining one. That's the tricky thing as Shelby sets the fastest lap of the race. Of course, no fastest lap points in a sprint. Jamie's up to 7th position with that penalty that we just mentioned. The other Mercedes fighting for the championship is trying to work his way through. He's got Felix and Marcy in front. He's going to go down the left-hand side of Felix. Marcy in front, be careful not to outbrake yourself. And Marcy goes deep into the wall. The Mercedes actually catches the inside barrier as well. Ghosts his way through Marcy and up into 10th position, but he spins it. He hits the curb. Oh my gosh. 14th place for Papa. I think he's got away without damage, but disappointing. I'm not sure whether there was contact there. Evil still not able to get away here. This lap is going to be all about this lap, Colin. The last chance for DRS.
Yeah, this is it now. Now, has Jack played it cleverly? He's got 44% on his ERS. Evil has 60. But we're heading in now to the long straight. Now, he's just got to get this corner right. This is such an important corner now. The last corner, really. Last major corner. Seems to get a good exit. He's going to certainly get DRS, which is so strong down this back straight.
Yeah, he's got to use it. By the way, Felix and MFC, Trunder's retiring on that lap through the middle sector. Trunder's just before the Castle section. Felix during the Castle section. So what's going to happen here? Is Jack going to be able to send it? Does he have enough pace to go down the inside? He's got the Haas on his outside. Championship leader trying to take a position here from the Alfa Romeo. Is he going to be able to go down the inside into turn 2? Nope, but the Mercedes goes slightly deep and he gets the run. And he's going to have DRS surely.
He's got him. He's got him. Now Evil's got he's got a big problem now because he's got M125 on the case, which he's passed him. I think he's got him. Yeah, he's got him. Clean round the outside. That's a great move, but you can see how easy it is. You make one small mistake around here in this sprint race and you're going to lose umpteen positions. Evil goes from 1st to 3rd in a matter of 3 corners.
So is M125 going to be able to do it? I don't know if you can check how much battery they each have left, Colin, but it's going to be all about how they get the exit of that final corner onto the obviously the high-speed corners onto the straight. So Jack, at the moment, this could be his first win, I believe, Colin.
Yeah, it will be his first win. Now, he's got only 20% ERS.
Jamie's out.
M125. Oh, Jamie's out.
Castle section claims another victim.
As Marcy's got front wing damage as well, lying in 10th with Papa Squanch fast approaching. But this is, like we said at the start of the stream, Nick, this is a race of attrition.
I think Jack's got it. He's got 7/10 on him before they get to the S's. He's out of Erzo. He's flashing. So this is going to be a run down to the line. Oh, the Haas driver. Let's ride on board with him, Colin. Talk us through. I think he's going to get him, Cole.
Is he going to do it? He's got DRS. He's going to nick it. He's going to nick it with about 50 metres spare. And he takes the win in the sprint. Oh, Jack would be devastated. He did everything right. But fair play to M125 yet again, showing great racing instinct. He got that. I was on board with him, and he got that last corner absolutely bang on.
Yeah, I think Jack carried speed into it, which perhaps compromised his exit, whereas M125 went for a slow in, fast out, and then just dumped his ERS. And had the move done pretty much before he even opened the rear wing.
That was just absolutely brilliant. I mean, even with looking at it again, like I said early on in that race, the straight line speed that M125 has got is astonishing. He really has. He's definitely gone for a very low wing setup for sure.
Well, a lot to digest after that one. Our first ever red flag in One Hub Racing, and then M125 starting near the back as a championship leader for reverse grid makes his way all the way up to first. We had as well, I think, Hookie, Ghost, Mason, Trunders, Felix, Jamie all retire from the race. So I don't know if you want to quickly run us through, Cole.
Yeah, so M125 takes the victory in the sprint then, with Jack in second, Evil in third, then Rageman, Proverb, Cowboy, Matthias, Fozzie, Shelby, Marcy, Squanch, and then Dr. Mew taking 1 point, finishing in 12th.
What a race that was. And Colin, red flag, first red flag. What did you make of it? Bit of bizarre circumstances. And Baku delivered on exactly what we thought. Lots of drivers making mistakes, lots of DNFs, and other drivers taking advantage of that.
Yeah, I mean, this is... I was really surprised by the red flag happening so quickly. But it's good to experience it. The first one, it would have probably put a couple of the drivers off a little bit, I would have thought, having to reset and have another bite of the cherry for a restart. But fortunately, yeah, we've had a few DNFs from that sprint, but this is where the main points are earned now in the feature race. So, you know, you could see how many mistakes there are being made, that you could start at the back and you could still get a brilliant result. So it's not over for those drivers. They've just got to put the mistake or whatever happened in the back of their brain now and just focus on the feature race.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, they can reset, refocus. They've got a whole new opportunity here to move up the order if they weren't happy with where they finished or if they DNF'd. I think that's a nice thing about the sprint, Colin. You just have a chance to just go, okay, put that out of the way. I've got a chance to rectify it immediately, which is a nice opportunity to have, I always think.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I do love about the sprint weekends, is that if you do have a bad race in the sprint, you still got something to fight for in the next race then. You'll be starting near the back, but this is a long old race. I think it's 26 laps. 2 stops, don't forget, mandatory 2 stops. And it's going to be very interesting now. But I'm just looking at the Drivers' Championship. Now, heading into the sprint race, Papa Squanch was 27 points behind M125 and had a bit of a nightmare in that race. M125 obviously taking the victory. So Papa Squanch's got to go. He's got to throw a bit of caution to the wind now, and he's gonna have to gun it. We haven't got many races left now, but Jamie and Hooky and Shelby and Jess really and Proverb are all fighting for that 3rd place. So I think Jamie will be quite pleased with that. He saw his rival Hooky DNF as well. So that's going to please Shelby. Unfortunately, Jess is having internet problems, so is missing the race. And here we go. Red lights.
5 red lights. It looks a bit sunnier than it did in the sprint. And here we go. They are gone out. Again, we're not seeing the drivers move immediately. Slight delayed reaction there on screen for us. But Jack, is he going to try and go down the inside? No, but M21-25 goes wide, loses the momentum, and is about to lose 2nd position as well. There's contact between them. Just about gets away with it, does Evil.
Oh, M125 was so close to that barrier then. I was convinced he was going to hit it. He just about managed to avoid the wall. As Hooky makes good ground, he's up to 15th already, just with a couple of corners. So it's a great start from the Ferrari driver.
Fozzie was facing the wrong way. He spun round. No damage, it looks like, to his car. We know it's going to be a 2-stop race, of course, as they navigate this tricky section. The curb's not so friendly around this track either. So Jack leads us away in Baku for the feature race, and closely followed by Evil M125. Let's get all the bits and bobs up on our screen as we got yellow flags. Who's that moving down? Felix has made a mistake.
Yes, just before the castle section, makes a big mistake. I'll check TAS to see if he got any damage. I think he got away with it. No, he's got damage on his front right end plate, so he's going to have to box. So that will really hurt his strategy. As he hits the wall again on the fast section at the end of Sector 3.
So Shelby almost pushing the Haas through this high-speed section of Cowboy. This is for 6th and 7th position using the ERTs. That wants to try and get a move done early on in this race. There's a move up ahead perhaps happening as well. The two McLarens, was that orchestrated? You can see that Shelby just doesn't have the straight line speed at the moment to try and get past the House of Cowboy. Tries to go round the outside on the brakes. This will be a brave move. The barrier's there. He hits it. I think that's got to be damaged, surely.
Yeah, you can see he's lost his front end plate. Oh no, I don't think he has. I think he might have got away with it. I will double check TAS now to see if he does have any damage. But
here comes Marcy on the inside. Sorry, Colt. As we head into turn 3, that's job's done. So for trying to get 6th position, he's found his way down to 10th.
That's a nice move from Marcy there. It's very difficult trying to overtake around these 90-degree corners. It's so easy to understeer off into the wall. But one thing I noticed, look at the gap now. So Jack has pulled out a 1.5 second lead, so he's out of DRS. But one thing I was noticing during the previous lap heading down the straight, neither are using ERS, but Evil gained over half a second down the straight, so he's obviously running a much lower wing setup, and M125's all over the back of Evil now.
Yeah, 2-second gap, so Evil's really struggling. Not sure what's happening in that Mercedes. Trunder's, by the way, the only driver to start on the medium compounded tyres. Everyone else on, and it looks like there's been an incident further back. Hookie's in the wall, same quarter that he DNF.
Yeah, Hookie's in the wall, and no front wing at all gone. So he's gonna have to box now. So let's be curious to see what tyres he's gonna go on now.
Look at second, third, and fourth. About to go 3 wide into turn 1. The McLaren trying to go down the inside. Hookie's retired. He's bit virtual safety car. Surely this will be a full safety car. Virtual safety car. You can see he's binned it in the wall. So trying to go through there with a front wing is difficult enough, let alone without one at all. And it looks like things as they were between 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, as we are under virtual safety car conditions. Shelby's in the pit. Hookie's had enough. He's left the session. Shelby's going on to a hard compounded tyre. Fozzie is also taking this chance to come into the pit lane.
Yes, of course. If you box under the VSC, you will save a lot of time. So they're going to have a relatively short pit stop now. I'm surprised I didn't see other drivers box. I think I saw the likes of, Dr. Mew and Mason drove past the pit lane under the VSC, but they've decided to stay out. So at the moment, if we're going to look at the big losers and big gainers in those first 3 laps, obviously Hookie now DNF, which is such a shame for him. I think that's his...
Oof. Drive through for Matthias, speeding under virtual safety car. So he was red when it came to it. So that's going to be a drive through penalty. Such a harsh penalty to take when that happens. But the lead at the moment is 2.5 seconds. Jack's got some pace around here in Baku.
This is brilliant from Jack. Do you know what? I don't think he's actually led a race this year. But his best result of the season was 4th at round 2, which was also a sprint race. His best result as a feature race is 9th, which was at round 4. So to be leading this race now, and he's leading it relatively comfortably. As Matthias gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That will just compound his misery after the drive-through.
Look at this into turn 3, the Mercedes versus the Haas. As we head down, and the McLaren wants to get in on the action as well. So Proverb up to 3rd position, dragging down to 4th. And the Haas of M125, we know he's good wheel to wheel. He just keeps showing us. As you mentioned, it looks like Shelby's back in the pits for mediums, so something must have happened on his outlap on those hard compounded tyres, and he's had to come back in. Jack leading the race, but the gap now down to 1.5 seconds.
Oh, that's such a shame for Shelby. I mean, I know from experience, from the practice that we've done, Nick, that going out on cold hards is not a fun experience. You really need to take it easy for the first 2 laps until you get heat in the tyres. Shelby's still struggling to get heat into his tyres on the medium tyres. You can see him weaving down the straight, trying to introduce some heat. But like I said, it's still a long way to go. Still got 22 laps in this race to go. Still plenty of points on offer. He's just going to have to get into a nice rhythm. As Proverb now, he's right on the back of M125.
And Popper's right on the back of Cowboy, so DRS is enabled, of course, so expect to see some moves here. I think M125's got some serious so quick in that middle sector, which suggests he is running a low downforce setup because Jack was able to gain that gap back out to 2.5 seconds before we entered this straight. And you can see the other Mercedes is still behind Cowboy because of the DRS train. So the championship second place man at the moment trying to gain up the field. I think he's been a bit unlucky the last few races, has Papa, but M125's just done everything he needed to take full advantage.
Yeah, that's right. Things haven't really gone Papa's ways. He was involved in incidents that the stewards believed was the other driver's fault as well, so he hasn't had the best of luck over the last couple of races, but he's driving well here now. He's got to push, but he's got to do it in a controlled way. But he's all over the back of Cowboy at the minute. Cowboy driving very well, not making any mistakes at the minute. Oh, that's not a commentator's curse, but he's driving very well at the minute. Just notice, Proverb has passed M125, and he is catching Jack Amundo at a vast rate of knots.
Yeah, he definitely is. Got some serious pace, does Proverb. I wonder if M125 has some damage here. He really struggles in this middle sector. Compared to some of his rivals. Surely that can't be down to just setup. Pop-up, by the way, still on the back of the other house. He can see his championship rival just a few cars ahead. He wants to attack. He's just got to bide his time. Lap 5 out of 26 here in Baku for round 10 of season 24 in the P3 tier, Colin. Look at this, the Mercedes man all over the back of Cowboy, but the problem is they're both going to get DRS because of the Mercedes man in front.
Yeah, this is where we get the DRS train. Now, you can see now, Papa Squanch is using all his ERS. Cowboy not using any. Manages to stay ahead. Now, you mentioned M125 struggling in the middle sectors and the tight, twisty corners. But just checking on TAS, he has no damage. So I think it's his setup. I think he's gone for such a low downforce setup. He's really struggling as Cowboy passes Evil.
Yep, and on that into turn 1, Proverb was able to get ahead of Jack. Jack did close up in the second DRS, and you can see the gap is under half a second at the moment. So it's Proverb who leads ahead of Jack, and then you have the 2 Haas drivers followed by the 2 Mercedes. Evil seems to have a bit more downforce because he seems to go backwards on the straight as Shelby sets the fastest lap on those new medium compounded tyres.
Yeah, the undercut here isn't actually as strong as it is on other circuits. Oh, as we got a yellow flag in sector 1. Safety car. We got a safety car.
And I just want to point out, Colin, the 2 Mercedes did an orchestrated switch there just before the castle section. Evil let Popper through into 5th place. So Evil obviously rejoining the league last time out in Saudi and was able to get the memo that is as Shelby gets a drive-through penalty for speeding in the safety car. It's just not worth it, is it, Colin? Being even within half a second of the delta.
Yeah, I mean, I think whenever I see the delta, I go, right, keep it at a second, because it's so easy to suddenly be half a second ahead of your delta, and then it's too late. So I'm surprised that these drivers are cutting it so fine. Now, are we going to see the guys on the soft tyres coming into the pit lane?
It's a busy pit lane. Not only is it busy, it's a tricky one to navigate. 5 seconds for M125 for a collision with Jack. That's in the pit lane there, Cole.
Oh, so he hit the back of him coming into the pit lane. Now, has he got damage? That's the question.
And if he does, yes, he's got to change his wing. So not only did he get a 5-second penalty for that, he's got to change his wing now as well, which is going to cost him even more time. So pop up, you wanted your chance. Your chance has arrived.
And look, it's also completely knackered Cowboy because he had to queue. He had to wait for M125 to change his front wing to get out in front. So that's really hurt him. Such a shame that for the driver, for Cowboy, because he was having such a good race. He's now down in 11th, so he's got to have a lot of work to do now.
Fozzie gets a penalty for a collision with Felix under the safety car as well. So we expect a few more drivers to come into the pit. Shelby is making his third stop of the race, I think. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, this will be his third stop of the race. Is he changing his front wing? Yes, he is. So Shelby getting too close for comfort with the barriers here tonight in Baku. And we have our first safety car of the main race, Colin.
Yeah, I think that safety car came out at quite a nice time for the soft runners there. I'm just looking down the grid now, and the difference in tyre strategies is unbelievable. So Proverb there on hards, leading the race. Then we got Jack on mediums, Papa Squanch on hard, and M125 on softs. Rageman selecting the hard tyres, Evil, Marcy, and Trunders all on softs. Jamie has selected the hard tyre, Ghost on the medium, Cowboy, Mason, Matthias, and Dr. Mew on the mediums, Felix and Shelby on hards, and Fozzie on softs. So what a range of different tyre strategies we got going on at the minute. Now, I think the hard tyre runners are going to be quite vulnerable in the first couple of laps after the safety car, Nick.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised, Colin, how many drivers have gone on from a set of softs to another set of softs here tonight. It's not a strategy that I've even considered for myself later on tonight in the P1 tier. And obviously we've got the P2 tier starting at 7 o'clock tonight. That championship battle is really holding up with one of the contenders missing tonight's race. But Colin, here in Baku tonight for the P3 tier, they're all behind the safety car. It'll give everyone a chance to catch up, hopefully with full intact front wings, and then we can get going again. Hooky obviously DNF from the sprint race and now also from the main race, which unfortunately, Colin, I think has derailed his championship charge because, you know, there's been quite a few DNFs this season from the Ferrari man.
Yeah, it's such a shame for him. Prior to this round, he was only 13 points off Jamie in third place. And I know that Hooky was desperate to get that third place. It's certainly not over yet. We've still got another 2 rounds to go after this, but it certainly made life difficult for him with Jamie in 9th at the minute.
You can see the McLaren, who is leading this race, Proverb, who's had some really good pace here tonight, has to be said. He's leading this race and he is burning the rear tyres to try and get some temperature into them. You'll see as he comes through corner there, the white smoke that appears. As you mentioned, Colin, really difficult to get some temperature into these tyres. But I think we'll quickly just run through our sponsors, Colin, whilst we have chance, because obviously when there's no qualifying, it's really difficult. So big thanks to Next Level Racing, who of course do rigs, cockpits, stands, all sorts of things they've done for us over the years. And they provide prizes for our championship winners and also further down the field as well. Vespertine, who sponsor our merchandise, you can head over and check out t-shirts, caps, hoodies, all that sort of stuff. Pure Sim Gear, which provide some sim racing socks or gloves, and ERT, who sponsor and support us with our trophies. Of course, if you finish in the top 3, you will receive a trophy, and also other trophies like Going Get Tough Award and things like that for drivers who don't finish in the top 3. I think the safety car is going to stay out another lap here, Colin, whilst Fozzie catches up the field.
Yeah,
so those soft runners will be happy with that. And then, of course, you've got SimGrid, who we run all our championships through. They've got a massive, I think over 25,000 drivers now on their SimGrid website. All sorts of different platforms, Formula 1 to ACC, all that sort of stuff. iRacing. And then, of course, you've got Aztec Sim Sports, who provide prizes and merchandise. And you're seeing Ghost come into the pits. So, interestingly, he is going to come in for a set of hard tyres, which I presume will take him to the end, Colin.
Yeah, it will. Now, Ghost's now going to go, I don't want another safety car, please. He really now, he's banked on this strategy, which means that he really can't afford a safety car now. It's quite a clever decision. I think the hards will last the rest of the race. He'll find it a bit tricky towards the end of the race, obviously, but I admire this strategy. Nice and bold. I like it.
Yeah, it's nice to do something different, and I don't think he lost too many positions, possibly 5. I didn't see exactly where he was before he came in, but he wasn't in the top 10, I don't think. So, yeah, I think Cowboy's been the biggest loser from this safety car. Although he got to come in off of his softs, he was held up so long by his teammate M125, and we have first and second in the championship next to each other on track in 3rd and 4th. So keep an eye on that. Obviously, you've got Trunders returning to the league in 8th place in the Aston Martin here tonight. So big welcome back to Trunders, who's been a long time racer in One Hub. So good to see you back if you're watching the stream. And Colin, I can't believe we're only going to have one more race to commentate on together for season 24 for the P32, because obviously I'm missing next week in Canada. So Colin will be joined with, which hasn't been confirmed yet, has it? Just will confirm that in due course. Safety car in this lap. I can't believe how quickly this season's gone.
Oh, it's absolutely flown by. It really has, and it's been action just from lap 1 till the last lap. It's been brilliant. You can see the drivers now. Look, they're warming up their tyres, especially the hard runners. Now, that's quite... Proverb's going quite late here, I think. He's gone, and he's using his ERS. Is that going to be enough?
He's being held. He's being held by the safety car. Safety car's only just come into the pit lane now. Let's see. The Mercedes trying to go down the inside of Jack. Oh, that's tight. Tight through there with that barrier that sticks out. No movements at the moment. M125. Jack's lost a position to the Mercedes, but trying to go around the outside. Fozzie's retired. Not sure what's happened there as Shelby's in the pit lane. That looks like something to do with turn 1. Will we see another
I was actually on board Fozzie. He run wide on the exit of turn 1, hit the wall, and that was the end of that. Tyre gone.
Safety car, BSC. There's something going on. Look out, we've got a safety car.
BSC. No, you're right, it's a full safety car again. Now what do the drivers do? Do they stick with their plan?
I tell you who this could benefit. You said he didn't want a safety car, but this soon off the last one, if everyone comes in again, Ghost will stay out on those hard tyres and lead the race.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So, yeah, Ghost is going to be praying that they all change their strategy now. I don't think many are going to box due to the fact, I'm looking down the grid now, they've only done 3 laps really on all these set of tyres throughout the grid, so I'd be surprised to see anyone come in the pit lane. Somebody might take a punt and jump onto, would mediums do 16 laps, Nick, do you think, or would you go for the hard?
I wouldn't want to be on mediums for 16 laps. I think the hard is going to be the quicker tyre over the course of the stint, although you do have to consider that you'd expect a couple of those laps to be behind the safety car condition, but the rears just wear out so much on this track, Colin, so let's keep an eye on it. Does anyone come into the pits? Let's also show you who has a penalty. M125 has a 5 second, and there's someone coming in the pit there.
M125.
He's going to get rid of his 5 second penalty, but it's going to cost him a hell of a lot.
Yeah, it is going to cost him a lot. It's going to put him pretty much at the back. There's quite a few people boxing, which I'm quite surprised about. So we got M125, Evil, Cowboy, Mason, and Dr. Mew all in the pit lane for a fresh set of tyres.
Yeah, so you'd expect all of these guys to go to the end. Let's have a look on what tyres they've come out on. Yeah, all hard compounded tyres, Colin. So Evil M125, JR Mason, Cowboy, Dr. Mew. So Ghost is technically on the same strategy as them. It's just he stopped at the end of the last safety car, so that could be a blinding move here.
Yeah, that could be utter genius at this stage. But I think those, because how many safety? I think this is the second safety car that we've had.
Yeah, because we had a VSC and a full safety car in the sprint, and then this is our second safety car in. Oh, that McLaren gets very close to the safety car. And this is our second full safety car in the main race, so we've still got time for one more. We've had everything here tonight, Colin. Red flag, virtual, full safety car, and the result is far from decided.
Well, I mean, this race has had everything. The only thing we haven't had, and we're not going to get, is any rain. And I think the drivers are going to be quite pleased about that. But so we're in lap 11 now, and 2 DNFs. So you can see that the drivers have had a little bit of a different mentality heading into this feature race. So we're in the sprint, of course. I think we had 7 DNFs, I think.
I think the craziness of that sprint just encouraged a bit too much, aggressive driving.
Yeah.
With only, obviously they lost half of it with the red flag, which was interesting that they started on lap 3. Maybe it counts the formation lap or something. Not too sure. But safety car is not coming in this lap, so it's staying out for another lap.
So you can see the drivers now, they'll be preparing. Now this will help Proverb a bit. He'll know that he went a bit early last time and got held by the safety car, so suspect that you will see him go a fair bit later. I'm just looking down now. Just going to have a look to see who has done how many stops. So, the top 8 drivers of Proverb, Papa Squance, Jack, Rage, Marcy, Trunders, Jamie and Matthias have only done their 1 stop. And from 9th all the way down to 16th and with Dr. Mew, they have all completed their 2 stops. Now, if there's not going to be another safety car, this current order is going to completely change.
Yeah, although I think it's going to be really interesting because there's no way that the drivers in the top 10, the top 9 who need to stop again are going to be able to build a pit stop. So it's going to be a case of having to come through the field against these, 7-8 drivers who have completed their mandatory 2 stops. I think Felix and Shelby, regardless, are going to struggle to get those hards to the end. Although saying that, 4 of those 6 laps have been behind the safety car, so it could still be possible. But will we see another safety car? That'll hinder those at the back. It will help the ones at the front. Lots to play for here, Colin. I'd hate to call it.
Oh, it's impossible to call at this stage. You can see, the drivers are making small errors. And on other circuits, tracks like Japan, where you've got quite a bit of runoff, China, another good example, you can get away with making a small mistake. You cannot run this track. You make a small mistake, you're in the wall. And the safety car is coming in. So
Proverb needs to create a slightly bigger gap than he did to the safety cars last time, because the safety car needs to get across the pit entrance line, not coming into the pits. It needs to get across the line that you have to slow down for before your car is allowed to pass it. So you've got to manage the pace. You can see some drivers still weaving. Those at the back on those hards are going to need to get some temperature into their tyre in their opening lap here. And when's Matthias going to go? Let's ride on board with the McLaren man, and he goes. Has he caught anyone napping? I think he'll be right into turn 1.
Yeah, I think he didn't quite catch Papa Squance napping, but he did have a relatively good restart. A bit squirrely on the exit of turn 1, but keeps it together as they head. And it was a lock-up then from Papa Squance. I thought he was going to run into the back of Proverb there. Just manages to get away with it, and a good clean couple of corners.
Yeah, Evil Dragon weaving around in the background there. trying to go down the inside now of Ghost. Gives him just about enough room on the outside there, and then comes across to cover the position. M125 in this battle as well, getting ahead of Ghost, so Ghost losing 2 positions from that, perhaps wasn't able to get... Oh, there was contact there, there was contact, that was Shelby going deep, and then he's going to have a tight angle, and he's going to get stuck with, you need to turn out of it, my friend, not into the Ferrari though.
Oh, that was so close. That was really close. You could see that they got basically stuck together against the wall. I think they managed to get away with any damage, but of course they lost quite a bit of time. You can see that Cowboy now is 3 seconds behind Ghost as he's getting challenged by Shelby. Shelby, oh, he's having a go. It's such a risky part of the track to actually try and overtake. Is he going to try and plan now for the long straight heading
who's
towards
not?
the finish line?
Matthias is literally pushing Jamie through these fast left-right handers, and he wants to get past the Red Bull man on those soft compounded tyres, of course.
Yeah, those soft tyres, obviously they're going to heat up.
Here comes Felix. Sorry,
Oh,
Cole. Felix is going to make it 3 wide.
And Felix has the pair of them. What a move that is. 2 in 1. Thank you very, very much. Poor Jamie there. Started that straight in 7th and ends up in 9th. Oh, he's in the wall. He's in the wall. I think it was 3 abreast. I think Evil attempted to go down the inside there against 2 drivers, which was a little bit too much. Jamie in the wall.
Wonder if he's got any damage on that Red Bull. It looks like there's an end plate missing.
Yeah.
He'll be, I can imagine the words that are coming out of his mouth in his under his helmet. And Matthias now just ahead of Ghost. So Matthias trying to get ahead of Felix as well. As Felix has made his way. Felix has got some good straight line speed here tonight. But through this castle section, it's just a case of following each other and not tapping the wall or the car in front.
Yeah, and it's so important to pick your moments when to overtake, especially around this track. I think some of the drivers are getting a little bit itchy trigger finger. Oh my word, and that's Felix in the wall. Felix hit the wall the last but 1 corner. I think he's actually got away with damage there. But Matthias right on the back of him now, heading down the main straight, right behind him on his soft tyres.
Popper all over the back of Provo as well. Is this going to be a pass for the lead of the race? It's difficult to get the move done without DRS into turn 1 just because of that barrier that sticks out on the right hand side there. No idea why it's like that. And Marcy trying to go side by side with Trunders. Trunders gets the move done. JR Mason gets ahead of Jamie as he comes into the pits. He will be massively frustrated. And look at Felix and Matthias. Matthias has got ahead, and it looks like Felix is dropping down the order. Just lost another 2 positions from Ghost and M125.
Yeah, unfortunately, Felix is he's going backwards at this stage. Now he's on 9 lap old hards compared to Ghost in front on 6 and M125 and Cowboy on 4. So, and not only that, he has run out of ERS. He has only got 10% left as Cowboy is attempting to move. Yeah, and he's passed Felix quite comfortably. So Felix is having a nightmare couple of corners.
Evil Dragon now just behind him as well. I'm impressed with how close Popper's been able to stay to Proverb even through this middle sector. So I'd expect that he's running a little bit more downforce. And that corner that they're going through now, I feel like that's the only corner that you can just kind of tap the wall with your wheels and get away with it around here. But look at this. The top 4, Colin, have almost got a 5-second lead. You can see him coming through those fast left-right handers. DRS is going to open on that Mercedes, and I got a feeling this is going to be a move which is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, Whopping Proverb doesn't even attempt to block there. thinking the long game. I'm wondering, I'm looking on board Trunders, and he does seem to be struggling a little bit. He's on 9-lap-old softs now. I think they're coming to the end of their life. Now, is he going to try and stay? Oh, as he nearly hits the wall in the Aston Martin. Yeah, I think these tyres are starting to go off now. Is he going to wait for a safety car, or is he going to box? But I think he is really, really struggling. M125 is coming right on the back of him now.
The McLaren pair, if they finish both in the top 5, that's really going to help their championship battle, especially with one of the Mercedes further down, and then you've got the 2 Haas drivers outside the top 5 currently. M125 has done well, though, to get back up to 6th position, it has to be said, Colin. So as we head through, we're on lap 16 out of 26. When are any of these drivers at the front going to make their second stop?
Yeah, it's the timing of this second stop for those drivers is going to be absolutely crucial. Now, I suspect that they're going to try and drag those hard tyres and medium
Jack's in the wall. Sorry, Cole.
Oh, no.
You can see the end plate flicking across the track there. It's gone to a safe place, and he's going to go side by side with the McLaren now. I wouldn't advise through this section, boys, going side by side. Up to you. Jack backs out of it. And he's got wing damage.
And that's the problem when you get wing damage. If you try taking those sets of corners flat out, you're going to end up in the wall. So he's got to make sure now he brings the speed down. Don't get any penalties in the pit lane.
Yeah, nice and conservative.
Which is great.
But he's going to have to change his wing here. But I think he had to stop anyway, didn't he, Cole?
Yes, he did. But of course, this is going to add a fair bit of time on. I think it's another 5 or 6 seconds, really, to change his front wing.
And
he comes out. So he's in 11th, 12th now. Yeah, I think he's going to come out just behind Dr. Mew. No, he comes out just ahead of Dr. Mew on fresh set of softs. So, such a shame for Jack there. He's driving so well. So let's hope now the frustration doesn't get the better of him and he can get into a nice rhythm and work his way back up the field, because he knows he's got good pace here.
M125 has got ahead of Trunders, who is still going around on those soft compounded tyres. 10 laps on them now. It's not a tyre life I'd want to take those softs to, but he just avoids the barrier through this castle section. And I know all too well what it's like to end in a street circuit. As let's just have a look on at who needs to stop again. So M125 is the first driver to have stopped twice. Then you've got Cowboy and Ghost and everyone down. So we've just got Popper, the 2 McLarens and Trunders who need to stop again.
Yes, and it's only another 9 laps as well. So I think we're going to be starting to see pit stops from the top drivers who've yet to stop very quickly.
Do we think that? I think that M125 is the net race leader in this race once they've all come in to stop. So he just always manages to find his way back up the front, doesn't he?
He really does. Oh, my word. And that was nearly a huge commentator's jinx. Coming at us, turn 1 there. M125 was broad sideways. How he didn't hit his rear tyre against the wall, I don't know. But yeah, like you said, Nick, he is effectively in the net lead of this race. He's got 7-lap-old hard tyres. So tyre wear-wise, they will go the distance. They're not going to be particularly comfy towards the end, but they will certainly last. So now he's just got to get in a rhythm. Don't push too hard. But the trick is, does he know that the 3 drivers ahead have only done 1 stop?
Yeah, I wonder if he'll have someone telling them that information, or he'll have the stream on in his view, or what. But Trunders is struggling on these soft compounded tyres. Evil Dragon was squirming in the background there as well, and not too many DRS battles other than Evil Dragon with Ghost and Shelby now behind. Shelby's on 12 laps on those hard compounded tyres. I'd hate to see what the rears are feeling like in that Alfa Romeo. P2 tier is live, by the way. Wouldn't want you to leave us, but just so you know.
Oh, Mason out. Sorry to interrupt you, Nick. Mason is out. Mason has hit the wall. I'm trying to work out where it is.
Safety car.
Safety car. It's the last but one corner. That very tricky left-hander. And looks like he's hit the wall. I don't know whether he's hit the inside curb and it sent him into the wall, but that's a double DNF for Ferrari. Such a shame for the drive. Felix has got no front wing either.
This is
just
interesting.
Thinking about, because this has saved those guys at the top now. Whereas M125 was in the net lead, he is not in the net lead anymore.
Yeah, and because he chose to come into the pits. Evil Dragon didn't. And Jack's got his way back up to 6th position now, so he'll be clapping his hands if he can do it whilst driving for this safety car. And you can see almost everyone choosing to come into the pits. Jamie will be happy with this safety car as well. He chooses to stay out currently in 13th position. So our third and final safety car here tonight, Colin.
Yes, and I think Evil has made, a strategic error there. He's on 8-lap-old hards. And with pretty much every driver around him on brand new or new-ish softs and mediums, so he is going to find it very, very difficult to keep hold of second. Very difficult indeed. But this is perfect for Papa Squanch. He knows he's got a good buffer behind him. Now, is this a tactic? Is this a Mercedes tactic? Now, as Evil sacrificed his race and said to Papa, right, well, I'll hold the pack up and allow you to take a bigger lead out, and I'll hold the rest of them up for you.
Well, the interesting thing is, Colin, is that earlier in the race they did swap positions and Evil did let Papa through. So I have a feeling you're going to see the widest Mercedes you've ever seen. But is it better to try and keep the Mercedes within DRS that's behind you, or is it better just to go slower and try and hold the pack up whilst your teammate bolts, as Felix gets a 3-second time penalty? First one of those we've had here tonight, and our third and we expect to be final safety car. And remember, Colin, the settings on reduced, so imagine what it would be like if it was on standard. Although saying that, I think this is a track where it's quite understandable that there are going to be safety cars.
Yes, and in all fairness to the game and to Codemasters, each safety car that's come out has come out with a car parked in a dangerous place with no wheel. So I think it's a sensible decision to bring the safety car out. That is the nature of these street circuits.
Yes, definitely. So easy to lose it, and obviously JR Mason being our latest victim. So a double DNF for the Ferrari boys in the sprint, and another double DNF for the Ferrari boys in the main race. So a race to absolutely forget for those pair. But, Canada next week, more traditional. Say that. It's kind of classed as a street circuit as well, isn't it? So
yeah, it is. Yeah.
Far away.
Now that's interesting. Jamie has decided he's going to box. Now I think he was 13th, I think. So he's only going to lose one place, really.
Have the freshest tyres.
Get a nice set of fresh, soft tyres. So I think that's a good call from Jamie. I think that's a clever play.
Let's have a look just to confirm. Everyone has stopped at least 2 times. Shelby and Felix have stopped 4 times. And there's a few drivers who have come in for a hat-trick of pit stops, and the field has all caught up, so we would expect, Colin, that we'll be going to go racing at the end of this lap, which means we'll have 5 laps to the end of the race. And all the drivers bunched up, and Jack and M125, they just changed positions there. Jack, at the start of this safety car, M125 was ahead of Jack.
So that's obviously you're not allowed to overtake under safety car conditions, as the safety car's in this lap. Now is that there we go. Now
They've swapped and then swapped again.
He's swapped it back, but sometimes the game doesn't like that, and it will actually tell Jack to give the place back. But it seems to have behaved itself, so M125 there rightfully gives the place back. Now, Papa Squanch, when's he going to go?
It's right on board.
He's gone. He's gone. But the game's held him. Yeah, it's held him. He was too quick. He was too quick going.
Oh, is this going to cause some chaos? It's behind the two. So it's a double Mercedes, double McLaren, top four at the moment. And you can already see Evil Dragon's lost a position to one of the McLarens, and Felix is out.
Oh, such a shame for Felix there. I can't see where he's gone off, as Rage Man still fighting away now. But this is where now he's going to really... safety car.
Or
is
virtual.
it a VSC?
No, full safety car. It's full safety car. I didn't think you could get full in a 50% race.
No, nor did I.
I thought 3 was the next one.
What do the drivers do now? There's only 5 laps to go. I can't see anyone boxing. The only one I could see boxing is possibly Evil. But actually, this has helped him, this safety car, because I think without this safety car, I think he was going to plummet down the field. So I think this has really helped his cause here. But I don't think anyone's going to box, because they're all on pretty new set of tyres. And to be honest, the amount of pit stops that have been carried out, they're probably running out of tyres anyway.
Yeah, it's a sprint weekend as well, so you get slightly less, because 2 have to be handed back after the sprint race.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it can be interesting. But Papa will have another chance at this safety car restart, and you can see that it's now Mercedes, McLaren, Mercedes, McLaren, and then the championship leader of M125, who did get back past Jack at that safety car restart before the new safety car appeared. So, Colin, will we see Evil Dragon, it's right on board with him, come into the pits? I would think so, but this is going to drop into last place.
Yeah, he's going to give it a go. He's going to box, but like you said, he's going to be 14th, and of course with him boxing now, this is going to delay the safety car being released as well. So he really needs as soon. Oh, it's changing his front wing. It's changing his front wing. So that's why he's boxed. He's boxed because he had front wing damage. So that's really curtailed his race at the minute. So his best hope now is to basically treat this outlap, assuming he hasn't got a delta, as a qualifying lap, to make sure that he's on the back of Dr. Mew as soon as possible. And I think he's certainly going. Yeah, he's going to be right. Yeah, it won't be long now. A couple of corners, and he'll be on the back of Dr. Mew, and hopefully we'll get this race restarted.
Yeah, because it's such a slow middle sector behind the safety car, it's easy for a Formula 1 car, particularly on fresh rubber, to catch up to the field. So the cars with the oldest tyre life is Jack on 5, Marcy on 5, Ghost on 5, so both Alpines and Jack. But most of those laps have been behind the safety car. So yeah, it's been frustrating tonight, Colin, because when the safety cars come out, it's not shown us straight away. We've had to wait and ride on board and see it from a driver's point of view rather than it popping up on the left-hand side under laps.
Yes, that is the awkward thing. But this is the thing, the safety car does breed safety cars. I'm just curious to know now, is this safety car going to come in this lap?
Yes, it is. I saw the message.
Here we go then.
Lights have gone out on the safety car. Oh no, they're still flashing. I'm sure I saw the message saying safety car. Papa's backing up, so he's got to get it right this time, because he almost caused a bit of chaos from the bottleneck effect, So he's just got to create a gap. Safety car will come into the pits. Safety car has to navigate the pits and then cross the white line before the drivers can cross it. So Let's keep an eye.
No, the safety car's still out. Safety car is staying out. So we're going to have another run. This is... Evil will not be impressed with this.
Or last lap DRS only, I think. That will mean.
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting. Papa Squanch will be saying, this is fine. You stay out as long as possible, please, Mr. Safety Car. Thank you very much. The rest of the drivers are going to be praying that it comes in as soon as possible.
And by the way, the P2 tit is live. Justin leaves Funky, last season's P3 champion. Wace is in third, Lawrence is in fifth, Waitsy's up to fifth position. Myth and Axlock are fighting over sixth and seventh. Cam K is in eighth, Miami's in ninth, Jordan's in 10th, Lukey's in 11th, Specialist is in 11th now. They just swapped, and Bera is currently in 13th place with a DNF there as well. But go on then. Summarise this race for us if you can. Summarise the sprint and the main race tonight.
I mean, yet again, the P3 tier, full of action. I don't even know where to start with this race. It's had, like you said, it's had everything. We've had red flags, safety cars, DNFs, errors, spins, and it's all going to come down to these last couple of laps. Now, this is so important for Papa. He knows that he's got to close that gap to 125. M125, he cannot afford to make a mistake here. He's going to have to choose his time very well. Now, is he going to settle, maybe, for fourth and not risk anything? But the drivers behind are going to be desperate for more positions, Jamie in particular, as the safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap.
Yes, so he's backing up the pack nice and slowly at the moment. We've got two medium runners, everyone else on a soft compounder tyres. We've got Jamie at the back in 12th position with Evil Dragon in 14th. They had the collision earlier which sent Jamie down the back of the field. He was having a good race up until then. But let's focus on this restart. You can see them all just clumped together as we head down this main straight. We're right on board with Papa. He's definitely left a big enough gap this time. And when is he going to go? Mercedes first and 14th. Everyone else in between. We're going to have lap 24, 25, 26. And he goes.
And off he goes. Heading into turn one. He's got a... as Rageman now is fighting, he's past Proverb, so Rageman now jumps from third into second. As M125 sideways out of turn one, and not for the first time. And he's going to go and try down the inside.
Mercedes, the McLaren swap position, Colin. So as the McLaren swap position, there's Mercedes in the background round, but as the McLaren swap position, it enabled M125 to dive up the inside of Rageman, who was momentarily in second place.
What a move that is from 125. But look at Papa Squanch. He's got 1.5 second lead already. And he hasn't used much of his ERS either, to be fair. So he's really gunning it. This is great pace from Papa Squanch. This is exactly what he needs to do. Proverb in second now. And he does seem to be struggling in the middle sector a little bit. We got a yellow flag.
Yeah, it's the Aston of Trunders. Oh, what a disappointment. He was up to 6th, I think, and he's spun it, or he's been spun, or something, into the small little right-hander there. That's disappointing for him. He was having a good comeback up till then. You've got the two Alfa Romeos in 8th and 9th. And what's happened here? You've got Evil Dragon, who's had a moment. Yeah, Evil Dragon's got no front wing.
Yeah, that's pretty much the race over then for Evil. Unfortunately, he won't be... and he's out. He is in the wall and he's out the race.
He went to park it and instead he took his tyre off, so I wouldn't want him parking my car. But as we head, fastest lap of the race from Papa. Of course, there is fastest lap points, so that is important. Jamie, Dr. Mew and Trunders could all get the fastest lap outside of the top 10. But let's see what the positions change Cowboy up into 5th position, so the two medium compounds not really working at the moment compared to the soft runners.
No, it doesn't seem to be. Papa Squanch seems to have this race under control at the minute. If he could just keep it above a second before that last detection point, before the last lap, then he's going to be looking quite nice. He does seem to be keeping that gap quite steady. M125 right on the back of Proverb, with Rage Man right on the back of M125. And then quite a big gap, to be fair, back to Cowboy in 5th.
Yeah, Matthias is the only other driver who might benefit from DRS on the last lap as things stand. So Shelby in 7th, Jack in 9th. Jack will be disappointed with this result. He was in the top 5 for most of this race. Did he touch the wall there at the Castle section? Always had a moment. Matthias just avoid him. Touch tricky on traction as we exit this corner. Ghost is now trying to get past Shelby, who's stuck behind Marcy. It's all happening in the midfield.
Oh, as Matthias hits the wall at the end, he's really in the wall. So Matthias has got no front wing. That puts Jamie up into the top 10. And look at the lead Papa's got now. 2 seconds as they head to the last lap. He's really put on M125 now, really putting pressure on Wapping Proverb.
DRS enabled. Really? 2 Alpines versus the Alfa Romeo as well for 6th, 7th and 8th position as we head down to turn 1. Trunders has binned it. I can only think that was in the high speed section. And look at this. Shelby goes round the outside, just avoid the barrier. The 6th position. I had to hold my breath for that one.
What a move that is. That's brave. And you're relying on the other driver to be a bit smart as well. So fair play to both drivers there. Very aggressive from Shelby. A great manoeuvre there. But it looks like Papa has got this race done and dusted now. But look how close it is for second. So you got Proverb, M125 and Rage just over a second covering the 3 of them.
It's crazy. And look at this. Ghost, the 2 Alpines are separated by 0.2 of a second, down in 7th and 8th position, both on the only drivers on medium compounder tyres. So everyone will be finishing and scoring points here tonight if they make the checkered flag. As Jamie gets ahead of Jack now into... Oh, they fighting back. Jamie's got the move down in 9th position, but...
Oh, Jack's out. He lost his front wing somewhere. I think that's why Jamie passed him. And he is out of the race. No points for Jack.
Well, let's talk about the Mercedes man. He won the opening round, Colin. I don't think he's won a race since, but he is about to take the top step on the podium, and he takes the win here in Baku. M125 just beats the McLaren of Proverb and Rageman. So that is your top 4. Cowboy makes it top 5 to help Haas get closer to that Constructors' Championship, which I believe they could wrap up next week in Canada. Shelby finishes 6th, Marcy 8th, just ahead of Ghost in... Marcy 7th, just ahead of Ghost in 8th. Jamie recovers to 9th. Dr. Mew will get 10th position, I believe, his first top 10, so well done to him, keeping out the wall. And then you have Matthias, who we get a nice helicopter shot of as he is going to cross the line to finish in 11th place.
And what another race! And look how much look at the gap between Proverb and M125 at the end. It was just under 0.2. I was actually on board M125 as Papa was crossing the line, and it didn't look like he was going to make it, but he just did it, just by 0.2. And like Jess says in the comments, this makes this championship now very interesting.
Yes, we haven't really discussed the championship too much, but next week there's a normal qualifying session, so I'm sure we will be able to discuss that more once the standards have been updated from the sprint and the main race. But for now, Colin, these 3 drivers, they put a bit of a shift in tonight to make this podium, and you see 2 familiar faces up there. M125 showing as M1. Oh, sorry, that's the overall. weekend results. If you look at the feature race, Papa will get the maximum points for fastest lap and the win, and I'll let you run through the order.
So M125. Oh, sorry. Let me actually get the right page up. That might help, mightn't it? So Papa Squanch Papa Squanch wins this race. M125 second. Proverb in third, completing the podium. A great drive by Proverb there. Rageman in fourth. That's one of his best races of the year as well. So well done to him. Cowboy in fifth. Shelby getting a great sixth place after having a bit of an eventful race. Marcy in seventh. Ghost in eighth. Jamie in ninth. Good recovery from the Red Bull driver there. 10th, Dr. Mew. Great drive by Dr. Mew there. Just keeping out of trouble. And in 11th place, we have Matthias. Now, what's very interesting, I'm just going to quickly say this now, just to show how important it is just to finish and not hit the wall. Dr. Mew's best lap was a 1 minute 50. Excuse me. The best lap of the race was a 1 minute 44. So his best lap was about 4 seconds slower than any other driver, but he kept it out of the wall and brings it home in a great 10th place.
Yeah, and I think as well, the other thing, Colin, is I'm not 100%, I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure that those drivers towards the bottom of the field who DNF'd, so I'm talking about Jack, Trunders, Evil possibly, it says plus laps, so I'm pretty sure unless the game classifies them as a DNF, which it hasn't on this scenario, they will score the points for the position that they finished in. So unless it says DNF next to their name, although they crashed out, if the game classifies them, they will score the points.
They will score a point, yeah.
So I guess all there is left is to pick driver of the day. Would you like to go first, Colin?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Dr. Mew. Kept it out of trouble, didn't do anything silly, never gives up. This is what I love about drivers like Dr. Mew. He knows he's not the quickest driver out there, but he turns up every week. And of course, he's had an illness lately as well. So he still might not be feeling 100%. So my driver of the day nomination goes to Dr. Mew. So my question for you, Dr. Mew, is, did you think that a top 10 was possible in the feature race for the Baku Grand Prix? And how happy are you to get your first top 10 of the season?
Great nomination and great question, Colin. I'm torn between two drivers here. I'm gonna go a little bit unconventional. I'm gonna go for Proverb because I think he showed really good pace all the way through both the sprint and the race, and did score a podium. So I think he's had a bit of a mixed season with some incidents early on, and I think he drove clean, fair tonight, and was able to get a podium result for the McLaren team. So well done to him. And my question to Proverb was, how did you manage your strategy and only stop twice during a race that had 4 safety cars?
Yeah, that's a very good question, actually. I thought he did really well to stay on pace. Just shows he didn't make many mistakes, you see. Kept it out of the wall and drove a great race.
And we did say that if you keep it out the wall and keep consistent, you're going to score points. And, we saw that everyone in the top 10 listened to that advice and was able to do it. So we are done and dusted for tonight. As I said, I won't be here next week as I am away for my brother's stag. So wish me luck. And Colin, you will be joined in the commentary box to be confirmed. Jess will announce that over the coming week. And thank you everyone for watching. It's been an entertainment night, that's for sure. We got the first ever One Hub Racing red flag, which was great to see, or great to experience, even though it was a bit of under strange circumstances. But Colin, final thoughts before we say goodbye.
Championship battle on. Papa Squanch, I haven't worked it out exactly yet, but he's gained a fair chunk of points now on M125. Really setting the title up nicely for the final 2 rounds.
Yep, all to play for as we head to Canada next week and then Abu Dhabi for a final round, which involves a sprint race. So once again, thank you everyone for watching. Hope you enjoyed that chaos in the streets of Baku. The P2 tier is currently live. Axelox leads in the Red Bull over in the P2 tier. And then you have the P1 tier starting at 8 p.m. tonight, where Colin and I will be taking to the streets of Baku and trying to survive. So thank you very much and good night.
Good night, all.